Hi, everybody. Welcome to this version of Ask Me Anything. My name is Emily Miller-Lair. I'm going to be your moderator today. And as you just learned, you've got two lovely panelists today. We've got Judy and Allie. Judy, tell us a little bit about your experience with Aspen Dental.
Okay, so I joined Aspen in June of 2007. I've been in the Fall River, Massachusetts location for almost 14 years, and it's just been an amazing journey for me. I think that just the growth that I've seen the office, turn into, the patients returning, it's just been a fun experience. We do a lot of veterans work, and that's near and dear to me because I'm actually a Navy baby, born on a Navy base. So making sure that we're taking care of our veterans is something that I hold near and dear to my heart.
Oh, I absolutely love that. Yeah, that is one of the coolest things. We do a lot of cool things here at Aspen, but I think you nailed it. That's one of the really cool things, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail here. But I absolutely agree. That's awesome, and I love that you call yourself a Navy baby. So, Allie, tell us a little bit about yourself and your career with Aspen.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Allie, and I'm in Tucson, Arizona. I have been in dental for 13 years, and I've been with Aspen Dental for 7. I started out as a lead dental assistant, and I actually opened the office that I'm currently at. We just had a handful of people when we started, and I have grown with the organization in different roles. That is one thing I also love about Aspen is, the sky is the limit. You definitely, if you want to grow, you have that opportunity with Aspen. And I've watched my office come from, 2 dental assistants, 1 doctor, 1 hygienist, to a humongous practice, being able to help so many people and having access to care for our patients with, different hours for people. We break barriers and we help people smile every single day. And I love what I do.
Oh, I love it. You both make me smile. We were talking earlier because we're all talkers. And these gals both started their offices as like as person number 1. So they've got a lot of experience in those offices and throughout their region. So really, really exciting. The questions are already pouring in. So I'm some of these questions. If you've still got them, you can keep them pouring in. We've got a running list. If you see me looking over, it's just me reading the questions that you're sending in. So our first question is, why did you choose to become a DA with Aspen Dental? So Allie, I'll let you start. What made your original choice back in the day, go back in time?
Yeah.
Choose Aspen Dental.
Like I said, I've been in dental for 13 and 7 of that is with Aspen. And I worked for private offices before, and I was always hesitant to join an organization because of that stigma of treating patients like a number. When I researched Aspen, I was at a point in my life where I was like a little bit stagnant, but I still wanted to be in the dental field. I knew that. I just didn't know exactly where I was going. And when I researched Aspen, I saw the opportunities and the growth, and really didn't know exactly what I was diving into when I joined this Aspen family, and that's really what it is, a family. I got into it and I saw that there was opportunities. I didn't think I was going to become an office manager, but I definitely saw opportunity. If you want to become a hygienist, a lab tech, things like that, if you want to be cross-trained, those types of things, the organization is there to support you and back you up, and you have opportunity. The other thing was, I was working for private, and I loved what I did, but I had limited ability with hours and benefits and things like that. And Aspen truly, like I said, we're a family. They take care of their people, and your benefits are amazing. Your hours are amazing. Your work-life balance is there. So I was really drawn into how much they invest in their people, and in turn, your people are happy and take care of their patients as well.
I love that. That's one of those things that, you don't think to ask about interviews benefits. So I think that's so smart that you had a young family and you were looking for, I know Allie personally said, so you were looking for those things in your life and you found them with Aspen. That's really, really exciting. We're so glad to have you. And Judy, tell us about you. Like, go back in the day. You've been with Aspen a while, so you're probably thinking like, okay, let me go back. Started out, and even today, what made you choose Aspen Dental?
So for me, I also came from a private practice and I had worked there for a year. And with Aspen Dental, the city that I actually work in, it's very small. So, it's all about word of mouth and different things. And Aspen had been there for, quite a few years. And in my private practice, a lot of the denture steps that I did, because I would work with one of the labs that we had to send out, it was just a time frame. People were waiting for just one denture step, 2 weeks. Never mind getting that completion to be able to get them to smile and be happy. And we had a lot of patients who may have had emergencies and we just couldn't provide that in the private practice. So once I had, applied to Aspen, they actually were looking for an endodontist assistant. And I actually did a lot of root canals with my first office. It was on the job training. So I was like, oh, this kind of sounds cool. And I was willing to travel and go to different places. And then I got a call and they're like, well, actually that position had already been filled, but we do have one in Fall River. And I was like, it's like a 10-minute drive. Like I hit the highway and I'm at work. And I'm like, what's the best the option for me to
Talk
do?
about
So,
meant to be.
yeah, and it was just, I love having that lab on site. I love having, the hygienist there. And it's just, like you said, there's just so much more of a growth opportunity that I didn't have. I knew that the last office, it was going to be a DA. That's going to be where my position was. Here I've, learned a lot of different things. I get to understand, the denture steps, understand why it is that we're doing these things. Now we have the ortho and, when I first started, I referred out and I didn't get to be a part of, the growth. I didn't get to see somebody's smile transform. And now I get to do that because we do have that access, at Aspen. So.
I love that. I never thought of all of the technical fun things that you get to do as a DA with Aspen. You just really described not only are those technical and fun, but they also really take care of patients in a manner that is quick for them so that they're not waiting without teeth for a while. That could be a really frustrating situation, I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So super great. Love hearing about that. Now, I think so both of you alluded to opportunity. So I think the question coming in here, I think that's what they're asking here. What opportunities clinically are there for DAs? Allie, I'll let you get started and then we'll jump over and see. I know Judy's got some other stuff that she does too.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So clinically, if you're asking specifically clinically, there's lab tech option. We have specialty. One of the things Judy hit the nail on the head there is that we don't have to refer out. We have everything in house and we're able to take care of our patients. So, we have an oral surgeon, an endodontist, all of those. So you have the opportunity to look into being a specialty assistant as well, and be versatile and try things out. We dabble into ortho and those types of things as well. So as Aspen grows, you mentioned, Judy, we didn't have ortho before and now we do. I can only imagine it's going to continue to grow and we're always keeping up with the times. Our technology is growing with the times as well. So you think about it, it's going to be there for you.
I love that. And Judy, kind of bouncing off of that, we have somebody who's asking us, it says, I'm a new DA. Do I need experience to work with Aspen?
Absolutely not. So my position, I actually just became a regional trainer and I train dental assistants. And just like myself, I was on the job training DA and, there's a lot of different opportunities out there. A lot of states have, different types of, credentialing that you have to go through, but you have the resources there. You're able to come in with no experience. We've had PSRs that have decided to switch and come on to the dental field. And, I've had them join in and that helps out too, because it's like they know the front end, and it's something that you're all part of a team. So the experience that you have somebody that can go by your side, you get, like a buddy system that goes in place. and they teach you, you start off with the basics, start off with sterilization, start off with like the understanding treatment plans and different things like that, cleaning the rooms, breaking down the rooms. I actually have 4 dental assistants right now, and I actually have a couple of them that are on the job training. I actually had one that just actually got her license, so now she's registered in the state of Massachusetts. And I love seeing these dental assistants grow. I love from seeing them when they didn't, understand anything about the dental field, to now it's like they've gone on and now they're actually helping me train new dental assistants that come in. So it's all about, paying attention, just, being there, wanting to learn. If you love to see people smile, I say go for it.
I love that. It looks like we have a variety of people writing in, and some have finished DA school, some have not. And you're saying there can be a place, depending on your state rules, for everyone. And you're talking about a PSR, that's like our front office person who might answer the phone and schedule appointments. And you've had several of those who have decided that they wanted to be in the back office, and you've even trained them to be DAs.
Yep.
That's
I have
exciting.
Yeah, we actually have one who actually just became a lead dental assistant for one of our other offices. So, yep, she came on. She was a PSR. I took her under my wing, helped her become, a registered dental assistant, which you get a license in Massachusetts. And now she's the lead dental assistant and another one.
I love it. I love hearing
Mhm.
stories because we all have them. I think the 3 of us were talking for about a half an hour before this, and we all shared our different growth experiences that we've had with Aspen. And I love hearing about the people that you're training and how they're moving up and what's happening with them with Aspen. So it's super exciting. So we have a question here, and Allie, I'm going to throw this one your way. They're asking, what do you look for in a dental assistant, like as a new graduate or maybe someone who hasn't had dental assisting experience before? When you're interviewing them, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for somebody who is, like you said, wants to help somebody smile. They have to love what they do and they have to be passionate about it. You can't be timid. You have to be able to work with people and get in there and ask questions and dive in. And I know at first, when you first start, it can be you're in a new environment and, talking to strangers and all of that. But get in there, really not be scared, not be timid, and learn and dive in as much as you possibly can. When we have externs here, I always tell them treat it like a job interview because we're always, hiring, internally as well. And you're getting that one-on-one hand-on experience. And so really, like, obviously the first week we do observations, see the flow and how that works. But after that, as long as the patient's okay with that, get in there and really learn. And you're going to see how it impacts you internally as a person, seeing how they come in, they're nervous, they're scared. The dentist is not people's favorite place. And then they leave smiling and they're super happy. And you were a part of that and that part of that change. And it's just so impactful to you.
I think oftentimes the DA is not just part of the change. When it comes to calming them down, I have to agree with you 100%. They are that main person. I know Judy and I were talking earlier, and she said she sees patients over and over that come to her for that relaxing voice and that to help calm them down, really.
They become family, right? They start opening up to you. And like when you go to get your hair done or something like that, or your nails, and they're coming in more, they're going to come in for different steps and 6 months for their cleanings and things like that. So you start building rapport with them and connecting with them and really relating with them. They really become a part of you as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. Now, Judy, I know you've trained a lot of people over your years with Aspen. What do you look for in somebody who might be new to the field, changing a field, or be a new graduate? We're kind of getting questions all around from different areas. What do you look for in a person?
So for me, it has to be somebody who's outgoing, definitely somebody who has compassion, because, like Ali was saying, most of our patients come in and 9 out of 10, they don't want to be there. They hate coming to the dentist. They are afraid. And I'm looking for somebody who has that warm, comforting personality. A lot of times for our interviews, my manager and my doctor will have me go into the room with them just to get like a one-on-one, really to be able to meet this individual who's coming in for an interview, and just I can ask questions, from the background, like, okay, what made you think of dentistry? And a lot of times too, it's kind of like, are you looking for, because I think that when you come into like the dental field, you're looking for a career. It's not like a part-time job that you're looking for something, you want a career, and you're going to come in and you're going to give 100, percent every time you have that. Like, you want to see patients, happy. And a lot of the girls that I've had, some of them have come from like schools and things like that. And then others, it's just been, they may have worked like in nursing homes after school, and they're like, I really like taking care of the elderly. And we know, we've got dental labs. We have a lot of elderly patients that come in, and I just want to make sure that, my candidates are coming in and, given the care that I would want, if it was your family member. I try to look at a patient like, what if that was my mom sitting in that chair? How would I want them to be? And and like you were saying, Allie, like making a rapport. I have patients that will come in and they'll ask me like, how did your husband make out, or how did your kids make out? Because it's not just, they're not a number. They're a
Right.
patient, but they're part of my, my second family. They're coming in, and I've seen them. I've seen their families grow up, and they tell me about their grandkids now and everything else. So you definitely want to have that relationship. So if somebody has that type of heart and that type of drive, then I think that they're going to do great.
I love that. Everything is trainable, but how you treat people is something that you either are or you aren't. And both of you really nailed that and said, yeah, that's what's important. And you want to be somebody that your patients love, and then somebody that people like to work with. Switching gears a little bit, we have some questions kind of around benefits. So the first question is, do you have benefits? We know that we do. We kind of went over that a little bit. But Allie, can you speak to some of the benefits that you like at Aspen Dental?
I think you touched about this a little bit because you know me, but for me it was super important because I was a single mom for a really long time, and I wanted to be able to provide and be a provider for my girls and show them, drive and ambition, and that you can do, just be a role model, right? And working for private was great. It was rewarding, but I didn't have the means financially to pay for private insurance on my own, like $300 to $600. Like, that's crazy. I couldn't. That wasn't feasible for me. So, like I said, that was one of the things that drove me at first before getting into Aspen and realizing how amazing it is internally. But you have 401k, which you can start planning for your future, and it's been great for me. And it matches 100%, which you don't see that at many places. You have FSA, HSA, which is health savings accounts to put money away, force you for those those types of medical unseen events. You have your medical, and you have different tiers that fit your plan. I know a lot of organizations and places maybe like, this is the plan and that's it. You can play with your plan and figure out what works for you financially, or if you have a big family or a small family, or no, it's just you and a dog. You can even get pet insurance. So, I mean, there's just oodles and oodles of different opportunities for yourself to help, support not yourself, but your family, your pets. There's other things I can look into, like help with law or daycare, maternity leave. We definitely support our people and make sure that you have all the resources needed.
That's awesome. Yeah, you can purchase a maternity leave. I had one of my favorites that I didn't know existed is there's actually a daycare HSA.
Yeah.
So if you know what you're going to spend in daycare, you can get an HSA for that and get it tax free. So it's kind of a nice benefit to have. And having a 401k with a 4% match, that's huge.
Yeah.
So that can be really, really big for people. Judy, I know we went over a lot of the benefits, but are there any that we're missing that you can think of? And also, I think, could you also speak to the hours and what kind of a schedule that a DA could expect?
Yeah, of course. So as far as like benefits, just like Ali was saying, you get like the medical, and that's huge too. My husband's job, he worked in a factory. Florida is really known for their factories, and for many years he didn't really have the job security, so he'd be laid off. The insurance wasn't something that we were able to really afford. So, working with Aspen, I've been able to provide that, medical for my family. I think like even as far as vacation time, you know, Aspen is about, being like a family. So you want to make sure that you have that paid time off. And, after so much time of being here, you're getting that sick time, you're getting that vacation time to be able to spend with your loved ones. I think too also, just my husband not having a lot of different benefits, I've also been able to kind of do like life insurance, for the foreseen. I know inevitable, but if something was to happen to me, I want to make sure that my family is taken care of. And I've been able to do that, being able to put money away and have that. So it kind of makes me feel, relaxed knowing that if something was to happen, my family would be able to be taken care of. Just as far as like even with dental, coming in and you're able to get things that you need done for your families. So that's a huge portion too. As far as hours, I know a lot of different offices can work a lot of different ways. We do have a late night. Like for my office, Mondays are our late nights, which is huge because a lot of times patients have to work and we're able to accommodate them. We end up having a little bit less hours, like Friday is a half day. We work one Saturday a month. So again, we're able to get them in. And, my family even knows, like, as far as holidays, there are a lot of holidays that we will work. But again, patients are coming in, they're taking time out of their jobs, they're losing money by us accommodating and having those hours for them. They're able to fit it into their schedule because again, we're trying to provide care for them. And like Ali said, we're breaking down the barriers. I'm trying to make it easier for these patients to come in and be seen. And what Aspen does is it allows us to, do that for them. Some offices may have like part-time. I have some DAs that go to school. So we try to accommodate, we work together, and every office is different. But a lot of different times we're trying to make it work. So for me, the 5 days a week might be something that, I'm able to do. I might have a DA who works so many, but it's like a little puzzle piece. We just kind of fit the pieces in together and, we work on it. We know certain days are going to be busy. We try to make sure that we've got all hands on deck. And if not, it's, I always say like, my days do get busy, but it's the patients that matter to me. Like I try to leave how I might be feeling like, all right, this schedule, I want to make sure that my patients leave happy. I don't want my patient to ever feel like the stress because I don't want to put that under them. I want them to be comfortable. They've, decided to come to see us. Let's make sure that, I'm providing the right care for them. So
I love that. Yeah, breaking down those barriers, it's such an important thing. There's so many people in the United States that do not get care, and Aspen does a great job of breaking down those barriers for them, and DAs are the heart of that. Like you said, breaking down anxiety barriers, breaking down barriers with time, just so many things that you all do every day to make sure that our patients are happier and healthier. Speaking of happy, we had a really great question here. Ali, I'll start with you. What does Aspen do, or what does your office do to make you feel valued?
If you've ever worked with me, know I'm all about affirmation and just really making people feel valued. And in turn, I get the same from people above, me. It trickles down. So we all work really hard. Like Judy said, you're going to have some long days and work really hard, but we all have the same mission to help get our patients, taken care of. And it's so rewarding. But at the end of the day, I also want my people to know like they impacted those people's lives and they were a part of that. So we do lots of recognition. We do, I have this, it's kind of silly and kind of cheesy, but I do this thing called a joy jar. And we all fill it out, throughout the weeks and stuff. And when our morning huddles or, when we're meeting together, I randomly have people read from it. And it just kind of like, it's things that we say like about each other that are positive or rewarding, and it helps start your day and get you guys pumped because you hear that. We're really big on reviews, word of mouth, because there's a dental office across the street, there's a dental office right next door, and so it means a lot when somebody comes in and they stay with us. And so we're big on reviews and making sure, when you go to a restaurant or anything like that, you're looking at reviews, you're looking at those types of things before you make a decision. So I always read out like our reviews to our team and hope their names are mentioned and read it out to them. We did it this morning, reading out certain things that are funny or impactful to recognize you help that person. So I do gift cards. We do team outings. I go big on birthdays and things like that. It's my thing. I love it. And I mean, we're just constantly, even if it's just a little high five in the hallway, you know what I mean? Like, we're a team, we're a family, and we all help each other and pump each other up through good and bad times and do it together.
She's not lying on the big on birthdays either. I used to, when I started with Aspen, this was one of the offices that I regularly visited, and I loved going to the back because there was always cake. Because people, it's always someone's birthday. It was wonderful. Now, Judy, what do you guys do in your office? What do you do that makes you feel valued?
Mm-hmm. So feeling valued, just like Allie said, it's definitely the word of mouth. We have our MORs where our regional will come in like once a month, and she'll just kind of call out like all the reviews that we've had, and she has each one of us read it. And it's amazing to see how many say that they love the office, they love the team, because that's the biggest thing. And it's, I definitely myself, I try to, really pump up my staff. Because I know like a lot of times that the team members, like you said, with dental assistants, it's just, we've got like a busy schedule, and, I'm making sure that I'm kind of doing like, a little check as I'm walking down the hall, like, how you doing? Always thanking them, for any little thing. To them, it might seem little, but, it's just, I want to make sure that I'm thanking them. Like, thank you for doing this for me, or, and it's like, a lot of times too, I'm known pretty much like in the area as Mama Jude, because my daughter actually gave me the nickname, and she wasn't really happy that other people are calling me it, but I tend to have that mama bear in me. And it's like, it's really knowing your team. You can tell when somebody is going through something, and it's just being there, like being their cheerleader. My doctor, I tell him all the time, like when I first met him, I'm like, I'm so grateful that you're here. And he joked, he's like, let's see in about a year. Tell me if you still like working with me. And it's like, it's been like all these years, and I'm like, hey, I still like, I love working with you. And, I think like the whole affirmation is just having these patients return. Like, they're coming in, and, they're excited to see my doctor. They're excited to see me, and, really making sure that everyone, even like my hygienist, my manager, everyone is so good. They all come to me, like they see something with me, and that's huge. That makes me like want to actually work and want to do these things. So it's like we have amazing things. We have like a report card that we do, and what that is like on your little homepage, it's little things that you do in the office. So it may be like, dental assistant scheduling the next, appointment, making sure that all of those are done. It's reviews, it's all little things, and it's everything that comes together, a team report card. And you want to make sure that you're kind of contributing and doing all this stuff towards it. And we end up getting like, a nice little bonus at the end. And that's huge. We've worked together, and now it's like, besides your salary, here's a little extra something for you for all of your hard work. And it's like, so it's little things like that I'm really grateful for, and that's what makes me want to keep doing it every day.
I love it. It's the only time I want to see a report card. After school, I never want to. But this report card you want to see. Allie, talk about the report card for a sec. Like, what is on it? Like, what's a report card? What are we getting? What are we getting A's in?
Yeah, I mean, you're actually getting compensated for things that you do every single day anyways, just doing your job and taking care of the patients. And I've seen the report card evolve as the organization has evolved. So it used to be broken down as the DAs and the front team and the lab. And I think what the organization has done a nice job at doing is making it more unified, as like, this is a team effort, and we would be nothing without that other puzzle piece. It's a domino effect, right? So if this one person falls out of place, then us as a team falls out of place. So they really did a nice job unifying and finessing the report card to make sure it's something that we all work together. And there's things on there, like we talked about reviews earlier. So 90-day patient loyalty. We can give access to care to patients. We can do dentistry all day long. But it's back to that bedside manner, treating them not like a number, treating them like a human being, like your family member, and really connecting with them and knowing why they're coming in and helping them. So when you treat people like that and like a person, it's going to just have this ripple effect where they're going to talk to their friends and family about you in a positive way. And it's going to help in turn help grow your business and your people as well. So that's a big piece of heart of Aspen, and it's making sure that we're taking care of our patients. So 90-day patient loyalty is on there. Our new patients are our bread and butter. That's something different with Aspen. I remember being in private where we did a lot of limited exams. Maybe they came in with a toothache or something like that, and I never saw them again after that. And we look at the whole entire mouth. We don't charge for the x-rays. We don't charge for that first exam. We look at that whole mouth and we try to get them a game plan. Even if we have to do it in pieces, we look at that whole mouth and try to get them a game plan for the future as well and keep them. And so new patients showing up, we do a really nice job, I think, connecting and building a relationship from the beginning. And what helps that new patient show rate is part of it as well. So making sure we're doing welcome calls, connecting with them, all of those types of things make us stand out and are different. Because again, it goes back to treating them like a human. And so all those three categories are our new patient show rate, 90-day, those things, those contribute to, in turn, rewarding our team and ourselves with a nice little compensation or bonus at the end of each month.
I love that. Everything we do at Aspen, and I think both of you have said this, everything that's like a bonus is always attached to, did we do the right thing by the patient?
Yeah.
If we do the right thing by the patient, we know that everything else falls into place. And that's when we talk about compensation, that's part of what you see is bonuses for just doing the right thing by your patients. We do have a couple questions, and I know it varies everywhere, but if you can give us a general idea of how we're compensated at Aspen. Judy, I'll start with you. That seems to be a big question. I've got several about, tell me about the pay.
About the pay. So definitely, I think that Aspen has a really great way of paying their team members. I think that a lot of times it's a lot of research that they do. There are so many people that have your back and have your support. And, it's not just like the managers and the regionals, but it's really having like Aspen behind you. They support you and they see, as far as compensation, really trying to get you taken care of. And, there's a lot of different things that we have. We have like, the report cards, you get like those bonuses, things like that, depending on what type of position you're in, there may be something a little bit more. And Ali might know a little bit more as far as like on that part, but for the most part, it's just, it's really, they really do care for their employees, and they're making sure like, we do like evaluations, once a year, and, they want to see how you are. They really do care about you as a person. It's not just, and, these are thousands of offices that they have, and it's just, you would think like, having so many that you've gone annoyed, but you don't. Like, they want to make sure that you're happy. They want to make sure that you're going in because they appreciate what you're doing for them day in and day out. So the compensation is there, and, it's just as far as, when you go in for the interview or you work with your managers, your regional managers, maybe your pops, like the owners of the practice, talking about different things, but there's always someone out there for you. So
I love that. It's so true. I think it's a company that realizes that our patients aren't get treated well unless our people are treated well.
Yes.
So it's really something that you see at Aspen. Allie, anything to add on compensation? I know she said there was maybe a few parts that you might know a little bit more about.
Right. So for dental assistants, when I'm interviewing them, a lot of the times, if I take in an extern or something like that, I'm going to give them a chance. I'm going to start. We don't know where they're at when they first start, right? And so we're like, hey, this is your base pay. This is where you're going to start. But like you said, we believe in our people and we give them opportunities and we do those, yearly reviews and things like that. So I'm always constantly connecting with my team and seeing where they have opportunity and where they do really well and where I challenge them, right? And put them in, I believe in them and I connect with them and say, hey, I'm going to challenge you to this. I want you to try to do this and be a little bit more, get out of your comfort zone and, cross train you and things like that. And when I see people that are receptive to that and grow into new roles and want to do more things, you're compensated for that. I mean, if I have somebody that's going to be able to help streamline the flow of things and help our patients get better care by being able to check a patient in, answer the phone, maybe do some what we call them PARs or whatever, but it's a financial arrangement or mini consults or, and then I have, a PSR that doesn't mind going into the room and flipping a room and wiping things down and seating a patient. That just makes us a more unified team. And so when we go to meet for those yearly reviews and things like that, it doesn't go unnoticed. And you have opportunity to get incentive and merit increases yearly. Some places that you work for, it takes a while before you see any type of raise or change. And that's one thing we value our people because like you said, Emily, if we take care of our people, they're in turn going to take care of, those around them as well. So you feel valued and you're going to stay where you're at and you're going to continue to grow.
I think you two are a great example of that. You're both day one at your practices. So by coincidence, I had no idea when we started interviewing, but just really good examples of that. And we see it every day in our practices. You're not like an anomaly. There's a lot of great people. And we have a lot of great people asking a lot of great questions right now. And the one that I'm getting in different ways is they want to know the hiring process. Now, they want to know where to look for job openings. And I'll just tell you, aspendentaljobs.com is always going to have the latest and greatest openings. But Allie, if somebody was interested in your office, what would you like them to do to get a hold of you? And what does the hiring process look like? And an ETA on the amount of time it takes. Those seem to be, I'm getting those questions over and over in different ways.
Yeah. So for me, I have somebody, for example, walks in or calls. We have multiple offices. That's one great thing about Aspen is, for example, Tucson's a little bit smaller market. We only have 3 offices here and growing. But, Aspen's nationwide. And so say you're in a bigger market that had multiple locations, I may not have an opportunity in my specific office, but I will network and try to find you a place. Judy, when you started, you applied for one position and ended up finding another place for yourself, right? So
Exactly.
I would never turn anybody down. I would look over their resume, see, where their skills are and how they can. I've had DAs become PSRs or vice versa. I have, so maybe the DA position wasn't right for you. You were more front office, or maybe you applied front office and you became a DA. So I'm always looking at your skills and your what you can bring to the organization. It's not one-sided. It's not black and white. There's gray area. And the process would be definitely, I would want to see your resume and I'd have you go to aspendentaljobs.com and apply. We do a background screening, of course. And once that's passed, we have a questionnaire, of course, for you as well. Ask you a few questions and scenarios of what you would do in this scenario or how you would treat a person. It's just, a questionnaire. And then we would, bring you in office. For DAs here, we don't necessarily do like a working interview. So that's what's great about when we hire on externs, because we kind of get that working interview and get to build rapport and relationship with you in office. But if you are applying, we would do a couple screenings with you, ask you some questions. I usually would walk you around the office and introduce you to my doctors, my front team, my DAs, because it's got to be a good fit all the way around. We want you happy. We want the staff happy. And so we want to make sure you click, because you are with these people a lot. They are your second family. And so you want to make sure that you're able to connect with your team. And then I kind of have you shadow and observe the flow of how our office runs, how our new patient flow runs, how we see patients and such. And then from there, we would present an offer and go from there.
I love that. I think that answered a lot of people's questions. I think they're very excited about you guys, and they're looking for those next steps. Judy, is there anything in the process that you like to see out of your DAs, or anything that you like to see on the resume?
So, just like Allie was saying, it's really the connection. I do the same thing. I'll walk them through the office, and, I love to see, like, we have an office that we moved into in 2018, and, they're just like, wow, this, this office is like amazing. Look at all these things. And I'm able to kind of walk them through and show them, different things like, our panel machine, it's a cone beam scan where, we're able to do a 3D scan for implants, and we've got like this iTero, and that kind of brings up a little, conversation with them, and just showing them like, each individual. And it's true. It's like you want to see how they're responding to these people, because they're your family, and this person, potentially could be part of your family as well. And it's, it's them coming in, and just like I said, they have to, care for people. They have to have that heart. And, I can tell, just when they come in, just like, the conversations that they have. And, I've worked with a lot, and I've told my doctor, like, not every individual is going to be the same. There are some of my DAs that have, strengths all around, and there's some that, might not. There may be some areas where, everyone is needed. And everyone is needed in a part. And, just like you said, you're a team, you come together, like, where someone might struggle. Well, guess what? I need to come in, and I need to make sure that I'm kind of providing that care or that support a little bit more here, and I always tell my DAs, like, listen, I've been doing this for 15 years. There's nothing that I'm better at than you. You're going to come on here, and you're going to bring something to the table that might help me grow as an individual. And as long as you realize that there's always a chance for you to grow and for you to learn more, then you're going to be amazing.
That's so true. I think that's one of the most important things to ever think of, is you just never know what you're going to learn from somebody. I think that that's a really, really valuable point. We have some go-getters that are asking us some questions. I know we talked about moving up, but they're wondering about timelines. I know there's no set in stone timeline, but Allie, how fast have you seen people move from maybe a general DA to doing to being a lead, or possibly doing front if that's what they wanted to do, or going to specialty? What have you seen in that process before?
At my Irvington location, for example, the lead DA there, he actually helps with endo as well. So he didn't actually give up his role, but he's able to be versatile and be able to still do the lead role where he's at. But when endo comes in, he's able to assist with that as well. And he wasn't with the company for very long when that was presented. He shined, he showed drive and initiative. I think that's a big part of it. For example, my lead DA currently, she's only been with us for a year and a half. She was hired in a weird time during COVID. She was an extern. We hired her, and then COVID happened, and she was furloughed. And so when we opened back up, we had some changes internally within the office, and she came to me and she's like, I know I don't know that much, but I want to. And I want to know as much and learn as much as I possibly can. And I sat with her and I said, you're young, you have drive, you have ambition. I love it. Let's see where we can get you, and we created a development plan for her. And within, I'd say 4 months, she was my lead DA. She runs that floor. She helps keep everything flowing nicely. She's my backbone, because I'm in the front. I can't always be in the back. She helps me in so many ways. And I mean, that happened really quickly for her. For myself, I wasn't with the organization very long. I think I was a DA maybe 2 or 3 years. I really didn't have very much interest to be in the front like I joke about, but I liked clinical. I liked hands-on. I did oral surgery as well. So I was cross-trained in that aspect too. And, we had some changes in our office, and then I wanted to learn more, and I learned how to do PARs and help check people in and things like that. And insurances, I learned, maybe somebody called in sick and we needed help. I was able to jump up front for a moment. So I'd go jump from front to back, and I was doing little mini consults in the room, and my manager believed in me and was like, "Hey, I got an offer for you." And I joked with her. I was like, "You're silly. Like, I'll never work up front. No, I love it in the back." And she pushed me and drove me out of my comfort zone too, to where I'm an office manager and have been for 3 years with the organization and growing. So I think it also has to play with partly the person. Do you show drive and initiative? And then the people you have around you, are they supportive in there? And Aspen is full of that. Mentors and people there for you to help you grow.
I agree 100%. The mentorship that you get at Aspen, it's like none other. And Judy, I know you're a mentor for a lot of people. Can you talk to us a little bit about your role as a mentor and also your mentors? I'm sure you've had several with Aspen, and how that worked for you.
Yeah, well, a funny story is about my mentor. When I started in 2007, I had a dental assistant who was my lead at the time. And in 2010, she had gotten into a really bad car accident. And kind of went through some things. So I ended up becoming the lead dental assistant. And as a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, she actually came back to Aspen after being away for so long. Which I do find a lot of, there's been dental assistants that have left and they always find their way back.
They always come back. They always come back.
And when she came back, it was just like to hear the things that she had to say, like she couldn't believe like the growth that I had and the things that, Aspen's allowed me to do. And just, here I was, like at the time I was doing like this ortho lead for Invisalign when Invisalign first, was coming around with Aspen, and it was just, really taking that on and doing things. And now here I am like this trainer, and I've got all these people in here, and it was like, for somebody who, she was my lead, and when I first came on, like she would run circles and I'd be like, wow, I can't wait, to a point where now she was on and we're busier than where we were years ago, and she's like, how do you do this? You know what I mean? And it was like, it was huge, like the roles had actually turned, and I was like, and my thing is, it's just like really trying to take people under my wings. And Allie, like you said, me and my manager, we just work. Like, she says it all the time. She's like, you are like that manager in the back. Things. And it's like, she always jokes at me, before you leave, if you ever decide to, move up, can you just teach me your ways? Like, you know what I mean? Like, let me know everything. And my thing is that I am an open book. Everything that I know, I want my team to know. I want my, DAs to know how to do things. I don't try to hoard it and to do anything, whatever. It's, listen, if I'm not here, I want those patients to get the same care. So you need to know how to, like, place a quick order, or, different things. And like, like Allie, like you've said, it's, you've done things, you've gone up front. Like, I'll help out with PARs. I started looking into like going into managing, and I started taking some of the courses, because you have like, Aspen provides you with all of this like learning opportunities, these CE courses, and you're able to grow everything and have everything that you need. I start taking these courses, and it's like, now I'm able to be a little bit more helpful, towards my manager and my front desk. Like, listen, okay, they're in a consult right now. I know, like, this is how much it's going to be for today's extraction. Can we get it? It's like, it's little things like that. It helps out. It's, you know what I mean? You have to look at it that it's really no one's, specific job, obviously, besides, the dentist. I give them so much respect for what they do. But it's like, you all come together to help one another out. And the more that the better that the patient experience is going to be.
I love that. I think that's such a wise way of sharing that. I agree with both of you. I feel like everyone at Aspen in all positions, like above you or whatever, it's not a keep a secret from people. It's definitely, hey, there's plenty of room up here. Let me help you get there. Let me give you a hand and help you do those things that you want to do with your career. So I absolutely love those stories. Those are really good ones to share. Now you've talked, I'm switching gears a little bit, but we got some questions about this a little earlier. I've got a lot of questions. So you talked about the Invisalign rollout that you helped start with Aspen Dental. But Hallie, I'll switch over to you. Can you talk to us about some of the technology that we use? I know we've gone over a bit of it, and how someone who is new can learn these technologies that they may not be familiar with.
Sure. Judy, you talked about this a little bit too, coming from private to Aspen. When I started with Aspen, I was just amazed on having a denture lab on site. I was used to being, taking an impression and sending it to a lab and waiting a week or two. And then if they didn't like it, having to write details and photos and all this stuff. And it would take months to get somebody a denture or a partial or anything. And with us having the lab on site, they get to be involved in the process of changing their smile. They get to meet the person changing their smile and the team and the people. And it helps because we're able to get them teeth faster. We have different materials that we use in order. Like when we did an ASAP impression, and you guys will learn more about different materials and things. I was like, what's ASAP? What is this? It changed everything. We could skip steps and we could speed things up for patients. So that was like one of the first things I saw with the organization. I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. They're all about trying to help get our patients care and help them smile and eat and function as soon as possible. We're not having them wait months to treat them. So that's incredible. We're also not having to send patients out, like I said, because we have, specialists on site. And with those specialists, we have the right tools. We have, the microscopes for endo. We have the CBCT scanner for implants and being able to place implants right away and not having to send people out to other places to do so. And the iTero machine is amazing because, yes, we use it for Invisalign. We don't have to take the traditional impressions and wait and send it out. We can send a scan. We can get the trays back right away. But we also use it as just a way to help patients understand their treatment a lot better as a diagnosis. We understand dental, and it's something that we do every day, but people are visual. When you go to the eye doctor, you can try on, online now, you can try on different glasses and different things like that and see how it looks before you buy it. Even your hair, you can try different things that way, so why is it different with your teeth? It isn't. So with the iTero, you can do a scan of the mouth and put it up and show it to the patient, and they can actually see. I like to say, I took it from the training, is that I always say is the dental's lens. So, seeing what the doctor sees. And so they can see an actual image, not just an x-ray that's funky and they don't understand, and we're trying to break it down and explain it to them. They can see their mouth. They can see that hole in that molar. They can see the buildup where they need scaling and root planing. It's there. They can see it. And then the other cool part about it is we can use it as before and after. This is where you were and this is where you're at now. Isn't that cool? Look at the progress you've made. So it's just been a great instrument to use in that aspect as well. And I know Aspen, they're always looking at the newest, coolest things out there and trying to keep up with the time. So I know other things are in the horizon with that. So they definitely are always keeping up with what's next.
I love that. I always feel like they're ahead of their time, and the way that we use things is, like you're saying, so different than what you see in other areas. Like I remember working with an iTero, which is a 3D scan of a patient's mouth, which we give to every patient at no cost to the patient. I remember that thing sitting in the corner. It was like, nobody touch it. It's an expensive machine. Like everybody touch it. We want to share this with our patients. And it's just a different way of looking at things. Judy, we've got a couple of minutes here, but can you speak to, because a lot of our technology is new and a lot of it does change, and you over the years have definitely seen technology change. So can you speak to the type of training that you see when we roll out new technology with Aspen?
So I think it's just as far as you're given, like, webinars, there's always something. We have this website called The Bridge, and it's literally everything at your fingertips. You just type up something and it's like they've got all the information there. We do lift training where we've gone in and we've had, like the hygienists, the dental assistants, the doctors, managers, you've all gone in to have this training. Our doctors are trained on this lift training. I actually just, in my area, me and another dental assistant just did a webinar for a lot of the dental assistants and training on the iTero, because it is like that dental health scan. That is a piece of the puzzle. And getting our doctors and our hygienists to be able to get patients to say yes to their care, because like Ali said, when I tell them when I'm doing their x-rays, I'm going to do this dental health scan, and it's a visual perspective of why my doctor and my hygienist are recommending what they are. And I actually have patients that come in and they'll be like, they told me that you're going to do this cool scan. Like somebody told me about it. And it's like, so I want to offer that, but you do this scan and it's so cool because now they're able to see, you're able to show them the bite, you're able to show them the wear that they have in their teeth. They have a filling that keeps popping out, they're getting sensitivity. Well, now they've got these abfractions, and I'm able to go in and I just set the tone for my doctor, my hygienist. So when they come in, because I know you see a lot of patients, it's easier for them. They come in and they're explaining, they're like, oh yeah, your dental assistant just showed me that. And yep, and it helps them kind of trigger some things too, because, a lot of times too, like we have like the whole screen in front of them. I have the x-rays up and I make sure that every single computer has the website up so that scan is up and ready. So the patient now right in front of them, because when they sit down, they've got their screen right on their chair. They're able to look at this. And now it's going to kind of trigger some things that they might want to talk to my hygienist or my doctor about and be like, yeah, why is it that I have this? Or what can I do to get rid of that? And it just, even as far as like crowns and bridges, you scan and everything is done. My first partial, when I scanned for it, I was so scared because I was like, oh my gosh, like this is everything in just one scan. I got the impressions, I got the bite, it's going to finish. And I'm like, oh my God. And when the patient came in for like the insert, I was like glued to the room because I was like, oh my gosh, this is my first one. And it was very, very like minor adjustments. And I was like, this is huge. And, it's just, you always have the training that you need. Aspen's going to make sure that you're taken care of and that, you have things. And if not, there's so much, just contact like with in iTero. There's even iTero support. I can call them up and say, hey, I'm having an issue with this. Boom. Before I know it, they're taking care of what I have to take care of, so it's great that you do have that.
I love that. I think that's so true when you think about Aspen Dental and how they implement technology. You just nailed it. It is always something at your fingertips. So even if you're not in Allie's region and you don't have Mama Judy at, you can still make sure that there's plenty of checks and balances and people that can help you. You're not just stuck on your lonesome trying to figure out how to do something new that you may not know how to do yet. And I really think Aspen takes the training to the next level. And that for me is that lay my head on the pillow. I can sleep at night. I don't have to worry. I know that I have support to learn anything that I need to learn. So, well, you guys, I always end with my favorite question. So I'll go first to give you a second. Well, no, I don't want to go first because I don't want to take your word. So I'm going to ask, I always do that. And everybody's like, you took my word. Give me one word to describe your experience at Aspen Dental. Judy, we'll start with you.
Okay, well, I don't even know if it's like one word, but I'm going to say life-changing.
Oh, you stole mine. I'm sorry. Definitely life-changing. Life-changing. Can I?
It's okay to have the same one. Allie, I'll give you a second to think, or do you want to go next?
What's the word I'm looking for? Growth. I think for me, the person I was when I started with Aspen 7 years ago and who I am now are completely different people. And I just am growing every day. I think you have to be open to feedback. You're continuously learning. I learn things from different people all the time. And I love teaching others that as well. So if you're open to that, this is the place for you and you'll soar.
I love it. Well, you guys, it has been absolutely amazing. I appreciate you so much. Mine would be opportunity right with both of you guys. It's been a wonderful time talking to you all, and everyone else have a wonderful time with Aspen Dental Live. I appreciate you guys so